At some point in my life, I wanted to become a pilot. I don't remember whether I was in high school or primary. So today's interview is with a pilot. Let's hear, why does everyone want to become a pilot? You know, when they're still young, that's every child's dream. Welcome to Career and Corporate Hub. I am sitting with Sipho. Sipho, welcome to Career and Corporate Hub.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so before we even get more into why everyone wants to become a pilot, who is Sipho? Yeah, your background. I mean, it's such a strange question. And I'm sure with somebody who's done a lot of interviews, like, must I go back to who is Sipho again?
No, not at all. Look, it's a legit question. I think somebody's background is, could be relatable to somebody else.
True, that's the whole point. I start with the background.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I tell you who am I, where I come from, maybe somebody could be watching and they could relate to that background. So I think it's important to start there.
I'm happy you understand why I'm asking.
Yeah. So look, man, it's a very good question.
Great.
Let me get into it.
Yeah.
I am Sipho Mangesi.
Yes.
In fact, this just reminded me of the first English phrase I learned.
Okay.
My name is Sipho Mangesi.
Yeah.
That's the first English word I learned.
I think for almost everyone.
Yeah. And so I would stand up in class, my name is Sipho Mangesi, and then the next student would come up and they would say that.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd mastered English. I thought I was the master of English. Because back in the village, I grew up in Namakwe.
Yeah.
Right? Namakwe is a village in the former Transkei area.
Okay. That's Mtata or?
No, before you get to Mtata.
Okay.
But towards that direction. Yes, close to Butterworth.
Okay.
Towards that direction,
Yeah.
right? I grew up in that village. I learned to write my name on the sand. So we didn't
How
really...
old were you? I
think I was 6 at the time, 5, 6.
Okay. Average, yeah.
Something there. Yeah. So, they walk to R, A, E, O, U. And then they would tell you to make a circle, and that's O.
It means that you were smart, yeah.
Yeah.
Back then.
And then you put a tail, and then the O is now an A.
Yes.
And if you put the tail this side, then and that's how I learned to write. And the first phrase I learned was, my name is Sipho Mangesi. And I thought I was the smartest person in the world because I could speak English. Yeah. My grandpa would speak English to me, and the whole family would watch in the village, and I would say, my name is Sipho Mangesi. And so now eventually later in life, I went to a school in, I think it was in Cape Town. I went to a multiracial school. They spoke real English.
For primary?
Yes, this was in primary.
Okay.
When I had left the village, I went to this multiracial school.
So you left the village to Cape Town?
No, before. I went to other places first, other villages. But this is when I got to a real multiracial school.
Oh, okay.
I think it was in Cape Town, yes. So, here I am in the classroom. The teacher is speaking in real English. And I don't know anything. The only thing I know is my name is Sipho Mangesi.
Yes.
The teacher could be saying anything. Did you do your homework? My name is Sipho Mangesi.
So you thought anything that was said in
if it's English,
was just...
my name is Sipho Mangesi.
And were you not laughed?
The whole class was laughing at me.
Yeah.
But I think look, man, what the profound thing about where I come from and the relevance of my name is Sipho Mangesi is that later in life, when you start flying aeroplanes, at the beginning of each flight, you always introduce yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
That's a nice story.
So everything works together for good.
Yeah.
And it all ends up.
And how do you say it in the play?
I don't know. So in the play, it just comes naturally. I don't know if in the studio, if it'll be the same. It won't have the gravitas. It won't. But yes, that's where I come from, and that's what I've been through. We didn't have running water those days.
Yeah.
We didn't have electricity. I see the youngsters now, they like to use candles and they say it's romantic.
And that was, the reality.
It was a reality for us. Every day is candles.
Yeah.
Every day, I see the people now, they make fires on special occasions and they say they have potjikos. We had to cook outside every day. So I don't find potjikos exciting.
Yeah.
And I don't find candles romantic because when we live that
you
Yeah.
making me feel
Ah!
guilty.
And then you guys would be hiking. We used to go get the cows, man, and the sheep, everything. Yeah, this is your solution single.
How old are you? Like,
I've been around.
we're talking about, not running water.
Yes. So that's where I come from. I can speak a bit of English now.
You can speak English.
It's not the greatest. But
Even when you fly in, you have to announce wherever we are at 2,000 whatever feet.
Yeah.
You hear from the pilots.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. You know, my background and where I come from, it has shaped me to be the person that I am. The first English word I learned was, "My name is Sipho Mangesi." And at the beginning of each flight, you have to introduce yourself.
And which high school did you go to? The reason why I'm asking, I just want to connect it with where you are now as a pilot. Because obviously, high school, that's where we get to choose our career. Our career path.
Right. So I left the village, went to the Western Cape. I was in Cape Town, and then came back to the Eastern Cape. The high school that I went to, there's 2 high schools, because I've been around. I first went to a private school in East London. It was called, but it's still around, it's called Althorpe College. We could not afford that. So
college.
We could not afford that. So I had to leave the school. I remember this one year, the only reason I passed is because I had done so well in the rest of the year. Back then, they had something called continuous assessment, where they check your progress for the rest of the year, and your exams only counted for 25%.
At the end of the year.
Yes. So the continuous assessment, I think that's what they called it. So your progress towards, for the rest of the year counts for 75%, and the exams at the end of the year only count for 25%. So when I had to leave the school because of affordability, because I'd done so well, even though I couldn't write the exams, by some miracle I passed. Because I had to leave the school in the middle of the year because we could not afford. So I had to go to another school, which was an okay school. It's John Bizaker High School it's in the current community called I almost said No, I came back to East London. Robert, I came back to the Eastern Cape. This one is in Parkside. I almost said Vergenoeg. My church is in Vergenoeg.
This is the area. And what subject did you major in? Science?
I don't know if I majored in any of those things. I didn't really study ever for anything in my life, ever.
What do you mean?
I never studied for everything.
Passed.
I just passed. No. So, but when the teacher gave us homework, I would literally do it in the morning when the teacher's holding the books. The teacher would come like, "Hey, take out your homework." Those days we still had corporal punishment, so they would actually they don't hit you. So they'll go to the first person sitting in the classroom, the first one there. Homework, I didn't do it.
And then you are busy doing it.
That time I'm busy like, oh snap, I forgot. Do it now.
If you're in high school, please don't do that. Don't try it at home.
Don't try this at home. And so I'll be doing that. Because that was just me. I never studied. So I don't know if I majored in it. I just passed.
No, but what I'm asking is like, I don't know if maybe the school that you went to was science school?
No, it was a basic school. They had history, commerce and other stuff. I did maths, English, science, geography, biology.
Okay.
That's what I did.
That's what I wanted to understand,
But even those I just passed, because I wasn't studying. I never studied for an exam. I never studied for anything.
Because you're smart.
No.
You didn't because you're smart.
No, because I was lazy then. Even now,
what I'm saying is you passed because you're smart.
Imagine if I studied.
He's a pilot, so he's smart.
Get out of here.
And now moving to aviation school. Like, how did that come about?
Okay. So first of all, can I go back to the village to where it all started?
Yes.
Can I go back?
Please.
Okay. So, So growing up in a village where you're writing on the sand because you don't really have books. The name of the school is Kwanan Troko, by the way. I love saying it.
Kwano,
Troko.
who has a head? What is it?
Let's not translate it now. We'll talk about that later. But Kwanan Troko, that's the name of the school. That's where I was. We were writing on the sand. We didn't have water. We didn't have electricity. So you can imagine the environment.
Yeah.
There was no airports. Even today, there's still no airports there. There was no pilots. I'm the first pilot in that area. So there really wasn't any exposure to aviation. We didn't have the things we have today. No library, no YouTube, no Google, no internet.
No information at all.
Nothing.
Yes.
So the only time we saw aeroplanes was when they flew above us.
Yeah.
And we would get excited. Yeah.
I know.
You know the excitement. Yeah.
Grew up saying, aeroplane! And then you ask for sweets,
Hey, high five, man. You know this. Woo! And we get excited. Bring us particularly sweet, use particularly doesn't mind. Which means bring us sweets, bring us nice things. And the plane go past.
Yeah.
So the curiosity started there for me.
Oh, okay.
I was, okay, that's an aeroplane.
Yeah.
It's flying. Why is it not falling? And then I realized it actually has wings. There's the wings. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So the wings. Okay, the wings keep it there.
Bird wings.
Okay, it's got wings. But now how does it turn? How does it turn left or right? Does the one wing flap faster than the other? And then I don't know, man. And then I was just curious. I never got the answer to it. Man, in the village, even before starting school.
Yeah, so you were young.
I was young. And then yes, in primary and the question about how it turns left or right, I think that was in primary when I started asking myself these questions. I wanted to understand this aeroplane. Yes, okay, it's got wings, that's why it stays there. But surely it has to turn left or right eventually. Yeah. So how does it do that?
Yeah.
I never got the answer to that, but the curiosity started. And I wanted to find out about it.
Yeah.
I never knew there would be a pilot. There was no pilots to look up to. There was no library that YouTube and stuff like that. I just wanted to know how it turns. And so I never got the answer to that. I was like, nah, okay, whatever. But I was very good with my hands. I used to build things, build car wires. You know, in the village, you couldn't buy toys. So you make your own wires out, your own cars out of wire.
Yeah.
Play with bricks.
Yes, I was about to say bricks.
Yeah. You know, so I used to make the best. I would actually carve the brick to look like a car. You know? Carve the brick, looks like a car, like an SUV. Yeah. And we would drive it on the side. I was good with my hands, so I thought, you know what, maybe I'll be an engineer. I was like, that's it. Yeah. And when things broke, when I left the village and went to stay in the townships, when the appliances would break, I don't know how I did it, but I could fix them. So I was like, in engineering, that's it. Look how I'm good with my hands, I'm fixing things.
Yeah,
engineering. Yes. And so when I got to high school, I saw an advertisement where the Air Force was recruiting pilots. I was like, this is interesting.
Where did you see it?
On the newspaper.
Okay.
One of the teachers brought it to us because we're in grade 12 now. So
you're applying for
applying for stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because here's the thing. The thought had always been there because I wanted to travel the world. And I had aeroplanes, but who you ask? The teachers don't know about it. The universities came to our school, you know, and they would market this.
Do they speak about?
They don't offer it.
They don't offer it.
It's just up there.
Yeah.
So you go to this university, they don't know about this thing.
Yeah.
They
I
don't
guess
offer it,
that's why that dream, you know.
Yeah, it's sort of like
away.
Yes, exactly.
You only look at the traditional universities for to become a pilot, and then you don't see the prospects.
Okay, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing this in the newspaper, like
then you applied.
I applied, but at that time it wasn't real to me yet. I was just let me just apply.
Yeah.
The Air Force responded. I went through a selection process. This was in Pretoria.
Okay.
Went to Pretoria.
Yeah.
Got off Bosman Station.
So you paid.
No, the Air Force paid. The Air Force paid for my bus ticket.
Yeah.
Got onto a bus.
Yeah.
Got off Bosman Station.
Yeah.
And I sat there for a while. Then somebody from the Air Force came looking for me. You know, like I was like, yep, Air Force. I went in there for a selection process, and for the first time in my life, I got onto an aeroplane. I was able to see an aeroplane in front of me.
Okay. At the Air Force.
Yes,
Okay.
at the Air Force Base.
Yeah.
I got into an aeroplane. It wasn't moving, but it was
you
it was a big thing for me.
saw
Because it was the first time
yeah.
seeing an aeroplane up front, getting onto it, touching it. I knew right then and there. I was like, yeah, this is
And
it.
you saw it was huge compared
It's
to
huge, man.
when we see
Yeah.
It was so tiny.
Oh, yeah. It was big. It was
Yeah.
huge. I was like, this is it, man.
Yeah.
This is it. I thought I would fly for the Air Force, but the training never got off the ground.
Okay.
But at that stage, I had learned that, okay, you could actually do this privately without the Air Force. There's institutions you could go to.
Oh, the advert you saw was for the Air Force.
Yes, I went to the Air Force to fly for them for the selection process.
Okay, and
Right.
how did that go?
That went well.
Oh, okay.
Right. But I don't know what happened with the Air Force due to some admin on their side. I signed a contract which had a date, right, for me to start the training. You started basic training, physical training first. That never happened. So I was running after them. Eventually, they said, "No, we don't know who you are. We don't have you. You're not on our records." I was like, "Guys, I was just here. What you talking about?" I was like, "Okay, fine. I'll apply again because I wanted. Because now that I was sold now.
Yeah,
That moment when I stood in that plane, I was sold. I was like, listen, this is it. I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'll apply again. Applied again.
Do it, yeah.
Went for new interviews, new selection process, the whole thing again.
Sure.
Signed a new contract with a new date. Still never happened. The date came, nothing happened. I ran. Even today, I'm still waiting for them to call me.
Sure.
Yeah. But at that stage now, I had
At least a response to say you didn't make it would have been better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It made some excuse.
Than just nothing.
But I knew I made it because I signed the contract.
Oh, you mean after?
The date came. I'm thinking these
Yeah.
people are gonna call me with my itinerary.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I would be the one running after them.
Yeah.
Eventually, I said, whatever.
Yeah. And then where did you go from there?
From from there, look, I had learned now that you could actually do this privately.
Yeah. So you went that route, yeah.
I went that route. I went to the air school.
But it's expensive.
That's the thing. I got the shock of my life when I got to the air school and they told me how much it costed.
What is it called? Air school.
Yes, air school, the air school. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I search on Google, I find it called air school.
No, air school, it's just where you do your training. Yes, if you Google air schools in South Africa, a lot will pop up.
Okay.
Right. The official civil aviation terminology for it is ATO, which means for Air Training Organization.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just like asking for somebody that's watching, when they look for the school, they.
Yeah, they can search air school is fine.
Yeah.
Air school is fine.
Yeah. And then you went there.
I went there. Was like excited. Listen, man, I want to become a pilot. Asked a lot of questions.
Which is quite important.
Yeah. I was in there. I knew this is what I want, right? And I got the shock of my life when they told me the fees. Like,
how much?
Maybe the Air Force. At that time, to do a PPL, which is the license that qualifies you to fly the smaller airplanes, at that time it was around 50,000, 50,000.
And that was like many years ago.
Yeah. And then
quite a lot.
Yeah. And then to do to qualify as a commercial pilot, it was around 300 or 350,000. Then.
Okay. I was like looking at 50,000.
That was a joke.
350,000.
Yes. Okay. Remember that 50,000 only qualifies you to fly the smaller planes.
The smaller planes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
To qualify as a commercial pilot, to be able to fly professionally, you need to train more. You need to further train, which costs at that time. Yeah. These days it's more than maybe even triple that now.
I saw in one of your videos saying that you actually started with your parents paid, but then they couldn't continue. Why are you laughing? They couldn't continue, and then you went back. Then you had a sponsor afterwards. Can you just explain more on that? Yeah.
So with that, I went back home. I told my parents, "Hey, I got the school. I'm in. Hey, but these are the fees." Like, what is this? And so I spent I spent it actually means this Kaya. spent a lot of time at home because I could not afford the fees.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so I waited for my mother's bonus. What is a bonus? It's the 11th check, no?
13th.
I'm saying
13th check.
Listen to me.
Pilots.
13th.
Yes.
13th
I know
check.
13th because I get 13th.
But here's the thing, in
Yeah.
government, my mom is
Yeah.
a teacher, so you don't get
Oh
it.
no, birthdays. I think. Government,
Yes, that's
yeah.
why I was trying to just find
Yeah.
that.
I think they could the bonus.
Yeah, I just need a bonus.
Yeah.
So when that came, my mom was then able to give me 4,500.
4,500
That's it, which was not even 10%.
of the 50,000 just to qualify
For the small plane.
small plane.
Not even the
Yeah.
big one, just the small one.
And what did you do?
I took it to school, I was excited.
You're like, oh, I've got 4,500.
I was like, listen, this is a start.
Yeah.
This is a start.
Yeah.
I went to the air school, bought aviation air school in East London with the 4,500.
So there is one in East
Yeah,
London.
there is at
Oh.
the airport.
Great. Okay.
Got there, here's 4,500.
And
I'm
what
ready
did
to
they
start.
say? They didn't laugh or anything.
Amen. I'm sure they had a big laugh behind my back. Not in front of me, they were very kind. You know,
like, oh, one day I want to become a commercial pilot.
And the rock up here with 4,500.
4,500. Yeah.
Listen, man, registered, got some books, got some stuff. I was excited. I'm in. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
That 4,500 did not even last. How long did it last? I don't even remember. But it's a joke, man.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that at an air school, what makes it so expensive is not the theory part of learning. It's the practical part of learning. Because you have to learn in an actual aircraft.
Yeah.
You have to go fly and do the actual lesson there.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you don't have an aeroplane. So you have to rent one from the school.
Wait, when you are studying, you have to rent one for you
They
to...
charge you per hour. The school charges you for using the aeroplane. And then, remember, it's not your plane. That's what makes it expensive.
Yeah.
The aircraft, you know, there's maintenance for the aircraft, there's fuel for the aircraft, there's landing fees, there's airport taxes. So they charge you per hour for flying, right?
Yeah.
They charge you per hour of flying.
Okay.
So if I'm flying, so you need quite a number of hours for you to qualify as a pilot, yeah, right? So whenever you do these lessons, let's say I do one lesson today, and that lesson took 2 hours or an hour, or then the hourly rate maybe will be, I don't know what it is these days, but let's say 2,000 per hour for a small plane, right? So every lesson you do, if I'm doing 2 lessons today, that's already 4,000 today only.
How much is driving school?
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So you can imagine it adds up. You can imagine in a week.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm doing,
And that's just for the small planes, not not even at
it's
the
not even 2K.
commercial.
It's not even 2K.
Yeah.
It's more than that these
Yeah.
days. I don't know what it is.
So it's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
So imagine now you're coming there with 4,500. Come on,
It
man.
won't even last you a
This
day.
it won't.
Because
It
you also
won't.
need, I think, headphones as well.
There's that.
Do they sponsor you or you buy?
No.
You have
Nobody.
to-
You buy your own. Yeah.
Sure.
But some schools will have headsets that the students it rotates amongst the students. So you use it after your flight, you put it back. Then the next student will use the same headset. That's how I started. So the school advised me. They said, "Listen, man, why don't you leave the flying for now? Right? Do the theory part for now.
Okay.
Because this 4K is gonna run out within 2 hours.
It will. What are you gonna do?
In 2 hours, your 4K is gone.
Yeah.
You know, your 4.5 is gone. So leave the flying for now, do the exams, do the theory. So every day I would go to class, I did all the lectures, attended all of those, and I did the exams and I passed the exams.
Okay.
And that was it. Now what? Now it's time to fly. You've done all the theory.
Yeah.
Right,
How
now
do
it's-
you apply theory into practical without
Exactly.
the affordability?
Without the affordability. So my mom and my dad, whatever mind they had, they saw that I wasn't backing down. That was the family was like, listen, this is rubbish, stop this.
Yeah.
Everybody told me to stop it. My neighbors, aunts,
Or
uncles.
do engineering or something.
I even had a bursary to study engineering. They're like, hey, you silly boy, go do this engineering.
Yes.
What's this flying thing that you want to do, you know? But I was dead set. I was like, listen, this is it. I was sold. The day I sat in that plane in the Air Force, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
So, my mom supported me from day one. My dad,
which is good.
yes, my dad came around eventually. He also saw that, hey, this one isn't breaking down. I just support this young man. So whatever money that they made, even if it was 2,000, they would put it in there.
Really?
Whatever.
You're lucky.
Blessed.
Yeah, definitely. You're blessed.
Whatever they had, man. But the thing is that now my training was intermittent. I would go to school. I've just gotten whatever monies I have. Fly for a few days,
and then
it's gone.
You have to go back
home.
basics.
Yeah, and the thing about flying is that it's got a lot of muscle memory, right? So it's good to just start the training and finish it without stopping.
I'm just looking at the cockpit itself. It looks so complicated.
Exactly. So now if you train and then you stop, you're out of money and you go spend 6 months at home. By the time you come back, you don't even know where things are. It's been so long, you know. Now you must recap and redo some of the lessons because it's been so long, which ends up costing you more money. So that was my life. And so it would be school, home, and the training took much longer. Because of that. The people I had started with, some of them even finished. They went and they were flying for big companies. Some became flight instructors and they were now training me. The same guys I used to compete with in class. You know, sometimes the students, you compete, I'm going to get better marks.
Definitely.
You know, and sometimes
the one that, was lacking, was, behind, and
it happens.
Now the instructor.
They were teaching me. It was a very painful period in my life, but like I kept going, and eventually I graduated to get the license to fly the small aeroplanes. I was like, yes, woohoo! I got this.
You can fly.
Now I can fly. Now I could fly. The first flight I did, I took my mom and dad.
Oh, I saw it.
You saw that?
Yes.
I took my mom and dad there.
Wow.
That's when I qualified as a private pilot to fly the small aeroplanes. Mom and dad, those were my official first passengers.
Were they not scared?
Oh no! Oh no!
Yes.
No. And then I took my grandmother, and she was so excited. Oh, my grandmother.
Was it their first flight or?
It was her first flight ever.
Oh, shame.
First and last flight. She never flew again after that. Oh. Yeah, she passed away now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear. But the fact that you fulfilled that, I'm sure it was your dream to fly her as well.
Yes,
it
I did.
Feels great.
Yeah, I did. And so man, eventually I qualified. I could not progress with the training to become a commercial pilot. I could fly. I was qualified to fly the small one. But I wasn't. That's not where I wanted to be. I wanted to qualify as a professional pilot to fly the big airplanes, right?
So maybe just before we get more into the commercial pilot part, what is a commercial pilot?
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe let me answer. Allow me to answer the question this way to tell you the type of different flying licenses. Is that okay?
Yes, that's actually The more information, the better.
I seem to be talking a lot about so many other stuff. Let's get to the information.
It's relevant.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So when you get to an air school, the first license that you will have is a SPL.
Okay.
SPL stands for Student Pilot License.
Okay.
This doesn't qualify you to fly an aeroplane. It just means you are registered as a student pilot, and you get a license number, right? And you may fly solo, which means you may conduct training, and at some stage you may fly the aeroplane solo within the same airport and land.
Oh, okay.
Right, which is part of the training. So so you need an SPL to be able to do that training, right? Number one. Now, the one after that is a PPL. Now, when you've done this SPL and you've done the training, then you qualify and get a PPL, which is private pilot license. This one now qualifies you to fly a small aeroplane during the day
Okay.
in good weather.
Okay.
Which means at night you can't even fly.
You
as a
can't
PPL.
fly.
No.
And when the weather is not
No
good.
flying for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it qualifies you to fly a small aeroplane, good weather, during the day. That's a PPL. So obviously you can't be flying professionally your big aeroplanes because sometimes you fly at night. Sometimes. So now it's these two that I've mentioned. Both of them are not professional qualifications. It's just a road to get into the professional qualification. Right. Now, the other one after this one now is a commercial license. This one is a professional qualification.
Yeah.
And of course you need further training to be able to get there. Right.
And hours as well. I think I saw something about hours.
I'm gonna
qualify.
I'll tell you how that goes.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you. Let me just finish this and I'll tell you how the hours goes. So the third one, so we said we've got what, SPL,
Yeah.
PPL,
Yeah.
and we explained what those ones are.
Yes.
And
And
the
then
commercial pilot, CPL, commercial pilot license. This is a professional qualification which qualifies you to work as a professional pilot.
Okay.
All right. The SPL, we said this one is just, it just means that you've registered and you are training, you're doing the training, right? Doesn't qualify you for anything.
Yeah.
But once you've done some part of the training, then you may fly solo. We call it a solo flight, where you fly without your instructor around the airport. Okay, that's SPL. Okay. After that, you get a PPL, and the PPL is 45 hours of training.
Okay.
All right. And then the CPL, commercial pilot license, is 2 hours of training. Now the hours that you mentioned it just now, yeah?
Yeah.
So we, to do your training, there's a syllabus, right? And there's certain lessons that you need to do, right? And it has been calculated that lesson 1 is going to take minimum X amount of hours. Lesson 2, minimum X amount of hours, right? We call it exercises. So exercise 1, 2.
So it doesn't mean that you have to be flying a plane for 2 hours.
No. So
like at once.
Say again?
Now I'm saying it doesn't mean, for an example, from Cape Town to Joburg is 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to fly like 2 hours, Cape Town to Joburg to.
No. So because there's a syllabus, right? There's certain chapters that you need to cover. So each chapter has got an allocated time to say that the minimum that you may spend on this particular exercise is X amount of hours. And then this one is this hours, and then that one is this hours. And when you add all of them up for a PPL, they amount to 45 hours. Now
I see.
Yes. Now it may happen that this the student is not progressing maybe as fast as you would like them to, and you have to repeat certain lessons. Now, instead of finishing the PPL at 45 hours, you might end up doing it at 50 hours or 60 hours, whatever the case is, right? And so for a CPL, the commercial pilot license, there is 200 hours.
Okay.
So it's a syllabus. They know that you must cover this chapter and that chapter, and this chapter minimum is going to take X amount of hours.
Yeah.
It can take more, but no, it won't be shorter than X amount of hours.
And that includes the theory and practical.
Negative.
Okay.
No theory. The theory is
okay.
this is just a practical. The hours are the practical flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the 200 hours, is it flying solo or
There
with
is some
an
part.
instructor?
There is some part. Some part is the student on his own, and some part is student and instructor.
Oh, okay. I see.
All right.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of hours. So when you said after you qualified for the
small one, the PPL.
For the PPL, you were flying everyone.
Listen,
like,
because
taxi drivers.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you about that. So the PPL, remember the PPL qualifies you to fly a small aeroplane during the day, right? And now to be able to fly at night, there's something else that you do called a night rating. So if you have a PPL, and you do this night rating, then you can
Yeah.
also fly at night.
Okay.
Right? So now, as soon as I got this, remember, I still did not have the money.
Yeah.
So what I started doing, I started going to schools, because they said something very offensive to me, which I think was good, because it allowed me to start doing what I did.
Oh, you mean at the school?
At the school, they said something
Okay.
offensive. I asked them, I said, hey guys, why do you guys not go to the schools in the township? They were getting ready for a career exhibition, and they were going to your policy schools, the fancy schools, if I can call it fancy schools.
Yeah.
So I asked them on their way, I was like, hey guys, I see you going to these schools.
What about
But
the
what
other?
about these other schools? Why aren't you
Yeah.
guys going there? And they were like, man, those people will not become pilots. We're not going to waste our time. I was like, but look
Yeah,
at
that's
me.
offensive. That's offensive, yeah.
I thought, okay, no, sharp, you guys go there. I'll go to that other school.
Okay.
And so I started
That's
going to.
where it came about.
Yeah, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll go there. If you won't go, I'll do it. So I started going to the schools, man. I started
Which
borrowing.
is a good thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
I started borrowing equipment from the school, borrowing the banners, the information booklets, everything. I would go to these schools to talk about careers in aviation, and then eventually I started inviting the learners to come to the airport, to come see the aeroplanes. You know? Yeah. Come look at the aeroplanes.
Yeah.
And because you'll be shocked, man. There are kids today from the village who've never been to town.
Oh, true. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, okay, no, still in high school, but
Yeah.
that was late, when I
Yeah.
saw an aeroplane first. So, first time.
Yeah.
So I.
So you can relate to
Okay,
some
no, I
degree.
can relate,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some kids even today, they haven't been to the only life they know is the village.
Not even kids, old people.
Even old people as well.
Yeah.
You ask them what they want to do when they grow up, and some just want to work in Bus John's farm.
Because that's what
Because
they see,
that's something they see.
the
Yeah.
social status.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, and some of them go to school because they're looking forward to the feeding scheme, feeding break. That's the only reason. That's the motivation they have, because there's nothing at home.
Yeah.
I was like, man, maybe I could bring these kids to the airport. Obviously, I couldn't afford to transport all of them, but sometimes the schools would help with that. So the school starts coming to the airport, and they would see the aeroplanes, and whenever I had money to fly, I was like, let's go.
That's actually good.
Let's go fly. Yeah. Because remember we said after you got your PPL, you qualify to fly a small aeroplane during the day, right? Now, to get your CPL, the commercial pilot license, you need 200 hours. Right?
Yeah.
Out of the 200 hours, 100 of those hours must be solo hours.
Okay.
Those are
Is
to
it
do
on
by
the big
yourself.
planes or even with the PPL?
No, it is still with a small aeroplane. It would maybe a 4-seater,
okay.
2-seater, 4-seater.
Yeah, as long as you accumulate those hours.
Yes. Now, there's ones that you will do official lessons with an instructor, and that's some solo hours. But now, because you already have a PPL, which qualifies you to fly a small plane with some passengers during the day. Now, getting those remember the 200 hours required for the CPL?
Yeah.
There's 100 of those that I need to do solo. I already have the PPL. So I was like, instead of flying solo by myself, let me take these kids.
Yes.
Yeah. So when they came to the airport.
I see where,
Yeah.
where it's coming from now.
Oh yeah. Now they started flying and they got excited. They've never been on an aeroplane.
Oh,
So I know, because even me myself, I'd never been on an aeroplane until I was.
I'm sure you wouldn't have mind, if somebody would have taken you to.
If I had that opportunity, I would have been excited.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I took these kids now. I'm taking them flying.
Accumulating hours.
Yeah. Instead of just flying by myself, I would take somebody. And obviously money was scarce, but now they started making news.
Yeah.
They started making news. Hey, there's this guy who's doing those things. Next thing, the radio station is inviting me for an interview. Next thing, it's the newspaper. And then and then the word got out. I started getting popular. And then I got a bursary to do some of my training. Yeah. But that money ran out. By the way,
so they couldn't sponsor fully.
It was part time. They sponsored some of the training, but which was good. I was like, okay, good, thank you. Now I can fly. All right. Now I can continue. Now I took kids.
Yeah.
So those kids are coming and I would fly those kids. And when those kids were, maybe it's during the week they're at school, I would literally go on Facebook, on social media. There's these live pages. Even now, if you go on Facebook, there'll be a live page between East London, Cape Town, East London, Joburg, East London, PE. I would go to those live pages.
Like, hey,
yeah,
lift it to PE.
I'm telling you, man. But here's the thing, I would not charge.
This is interesting, guys. Like, flight,
Yeah.
lift.
Yeah, I promise you. Even today, look, if you went on PEEL lift, I think that's what it's called,
Yeah.
and search my name there,
You
those
see
posts
them
will come.
flying.
I promise you, those posts will still come.
Wow.
And at first, people did not believe that this was legit.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Because-
believe as well. Like,
because-
I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. Because I said, listen, this is absolutely free.
Imagine
Just
for
come.
free, you're
Yeah.
flying.
People will be posting there, I'm driving on this particular day, I'm looking for four passengers, the
Yes.
fee is 200 bucks,
And
whatever.
you're like, come for free.
And then
flying to
on an aeroplane, but on top of that. Come for free on an aeroplane, on a private small plane. People are like, is this legit? No. But they came.
Yeah.
And when they came, those people started posting on the same platform. Like, this is actually legit.
I am
We
flying.
did it. Yeah. This is actually legit. We did this. It's happening. And then
No,
people.
you changed people's lives somehow.
I hope so.
Touched
Yeah.
people's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I did, man.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I'm just imagining, for me,
Yeah.
my sister was the first one to pay for my flight to
Yeah.
Durban. And really I still think about it.
You know,
so
yeah.
for you who did
Yeah.
it for free,
Absolutely.
for a stranger.
For a stranger, yeah.
Yeah.
So the people came, and now the people in the group saw this was actually legit. Even the admins of the group were like, listen, is this real? I was like, admins, just
They also want to be part of it. Yeah.
the admins came, I took them flying. They're like, man, took pictures, posted, guys, this is legit. So now people would wait, especially on Fridays. They know that guy is gonna come. And he's gonna, and I would do that. And sometimes I do that, and sometimes the people would be late or they're not there, whatever, they taking long to respond. I would literally go on the street and find
Like,
people
hey.
hitchhiking. Yeah.
Let's hike it.
I found people hitchhiking. Like I would ask them, hey, where you going?
I want to hike to Cape Town.
Yeah. It was mostly between East London and PE. That's what people would find.
The short trips.
So, hitchhiking. It's like, where are you going? Oh, East London. Okay, sharp. Listen, I'm actually flying there. Let's go. They wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. But now, how did you finish the school? With the financial resources challenges. Yeah.
The Department of Transport sponsored the training. The money ran out. Then I was sitting at home again for another year, and then they sponsored me again.
Oh, okay.
And this time, the money ran out, but I finished the training. The school allowed me to finish.
Okay.
I'm still paying for it today, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even today, I'm still paying the school. I still owe the school some money, even today. So yeah, the Department of Transport sponsored me. The money ran out eventually. The school allowed me to finish.
But now, for somebody who would like to pursue like the same, to go into the same footsteps, what can they do without the funds?
Not much. Without the funds,
Or
man.
Air Force, they can
With-
start
with-
there.
Yes, the Air Force is a good start because the Air Force pays for everything. The Air Force
Yeah.
covers all the expenses.
Yeah.
That's it.
But you
That's
never got a response, so what would you advise?
Yeah, I you know what I think happened? I heard
Yeah.
that there's some corruption happening, that you would go and pass.
Or
And
they,
then they
put
put-
somebody else.
Yeah. I hope they don't do those stuff
Yeah.
anymore. I hope.
Yeah. But at least there is,
Yeah.
that you can start with the Air Force.
That's option number one. That's the first avenue you can explore. You can go do your
Yeah.
training via the Air Force. The requirements is maths,
Mm.
English, science.
Okay. Very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. It's
And
maths,
is
English,
there like
science.
a prerequisite in terms of the average?
Yes, there
like
is.
65, what is it?
I forgot. I think it was during those times, was it? I think it's level 5. What is level 5
We'll,
now?
we'll
I'm
put
trying.
it, we'll
you know,
put it in the description box. 60% or.
Nah, man, I think it's more than that. I don't know. You know, now there's levels now. They call level 5 level. During my time, it was A, B, or C, or.
I passed during the levels, but.
It's a C, I think.
Yeah.
It's a C.
Okay.
I think it's a C.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, maths, English, science, and you will have to pass a medical check. But they check your sight and they check other things, your hearing and many other things. They take you to an aviation specialized doctor who will then check if you are physically.
Even the phobia of the height.
That one, I think that one needs a therapist. I don't know.
I actually did skydiving
Yeah.
because I'm scared of heights.
Yeah.
And
How
I
was
would
that?
go back again.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
You see,
Yeah,
even
I
if you had a
enjoyed
fear of heights, once you do it, you get over it.
it. Yeah.
So the doctor doesn't really check the fear for flying. They check your physical.
Well-being.
Thank you.
Okay.
The bundles was running out there. They check the physical well-being,
Yeah.
and then that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Air Force. That's your option. Number 2, the CAA, Civil Aviation Authority,
Okay.
which is the regulating body for aviation all over the world. We've got one in South Africa, and all countries will have their own CAA. Now, the South African Civil Aviation Authority offers bursaries as well. So Air Force or CAA, and then there's another one called Transport Education Training Authority. They offer bursaries as well, but these ones want you to have the PPL first.
Oh, that which you have to sponsor, yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, different companies from everywhere have a corporate social responsibility. Even Mercedes,
We do have.
where you work, yeah.
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz has a corporate social responsibility
Yeah.
where they will sponsor whatever cause that they deem is worthy for them to sponsor.
Yeah, but I'm not sure for flying because we drive cars. We make cars.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. But
Yeah.
I know of my point is, look, I know some students who are sponsored by companies that have got nothing to do with flying. Nothing to do with
Okay,
flying.
that's actually a good view, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I can
that's
also
what I'm trying to
find
get
out
at.
from our CSR specialist if they do sponsor and what is that is required. Yeah.
During my times, I tried them because they're here in East London. The plant is right here.
Yeah.
They responded, but they never really sponsored me. But I know all companies have a social responsibility. The Office of the Premier here in the Eastern Cape have sponsored a couple of pilots.
Yeah.
The which other government offices? Even EFF.
Oh, there is one I saw.
It's sponsored
one lady
by-
that was that finished
Yeah.
that qualified, I think, as a commercial pilot from EFF.
Yeah. So my point is this. Don't wait for a bursary that says we sponsoring pilots.
Yes.
Knock on doors.
Knock on doors.
Man. Make sure that you pass well. You've got your maths, English, science. You've passed well. You've shown that you're someone who's committed and who does well in school. And then go knock on these doors, man. So what you can do once you've finished your grade 12 and you want to become a pilot, go to an air school. There's air schools in most airports, in most of these major airports. PE, East London, Durban, Virginia Airport in Durban.
Even in Polokwane, there is an airport.
Yes.
Why are you only mentioning PE?
I was getting there. Johannesburg, there's quite a few. There's Midrand,
Yes.
there's Grand Central in Midrand, and then there's Rand Airport. There's Wonderboom there in Pretoria. There's Lanseria in Cape Town. There's Cape Town International has got air schools there as well. There's Stellenbosch, all over.
Yeah.
Right, you can Google this. There's internet now. It's not like my days.
It's easy to find information. Yeah.
It's not like my days. Now you can Google these things, right?
That is true.
Once you found the air school, go there, and the air schools will be happy to assist you. The air school can write a testimonial that says that you have been provisionally accepted into this air school. this is how much you need to do the training. Because you can knock on any door. If you're not registered with a school, no one is going to sponsor you.
It doesn't really,
No, man, they're not going to deposit the money into your bank account for the fees.
I like that advice, the fact that you must be provisionally accepted and
you
knock
must
on doors. So it shows
First of
like
all.
your
Yes.
the desperate, I don't know, like
it shows your commitment, and that you really want this thing.
Word,
and it shows that you've put in some effort.
Yeah.
And also, no one is going to deposit money into your personal bank account for your fees.
No
one is going to do that.
That's
right?
not going to happen.
So go to the schools wherever you are in South Africa. Find an S school, Google an S school near you. Go there. Let them write something that says you've been you meet their requirements and you've been provisionally accepted. This is how much you need. This is the school's details. And then go knock at Mercedes-Benz, Coca-Cola, or whoever, any company. When that company wants to sponsor you, the company will deal with the school and they will sponsor and they will talk to the school and then your fees will be paid there. Because first of all, as an aspiring pilot who's a student, how much do you don't even know how much the fees are. You can't just thumb suck and go to this company saying, I want to be a pilot. You don't even know how much it costs.
So you must have that.
Go to the school first of all. So go to the air school. Let the air school give you something that says you've been provisionally accepted. This is how much the course costs. These are the details of the school. These are the banking details of the school. Now you've got a document. Now you are affiliated with an entity. Now you can start knocking on doors. You can go to any company. You can even go to political parties. You can even go to any department. You can even go to the department of whatever. Office of the Premier, Department of Transport, Department of Sports, and even if it's got absolutely nothing to do with flying, do it. Even an individual, who's doing okay financially.
Business owners. Big money.
Look, even an individual who doesn't. You don't even have to do an individual. You can do it. I can do it. Let's say you want to sponsor somebody. You will get up to, I think it's 100K. You'll get up to 100K tax rebates. So which means when you're doing your tax returns, because you've sponsored somebody, you sponsored a child, or you sponsored some worthy cause, you can get a tax rebate from SARS.
So please.
So even if somebody
who wants to become a pilot, please go for it.
Please go for it,
Because it seems like it's hard to get a sponsorship.
It is.
And now moving more into you flying now. Let's really talk more about flying.
I need to get a drink. Let's continue. I'll get a drink. You'll cut that part out of the drink. Okay, continue. We've been talking for so long. I apologize. I love flying so much.
I can see the passion.
And sometimes I get carried away. I'm so sorry, but we're gonna wrap it up soon. Okay.
So now that you are flying, what type of personality must you have, to be a commercial pilot?
Okay. In terms of, I'm glad you asked that question. All right. As a pilot, now it depends on the type of pilot. Allow me to answer it this way.
Sorry to cut you. The reason I'm asking also, whenever you pass pilots at the airport, they have straight faces, no greetings. It's, I don't know. There's no smiling.
You see those pilots that you mentioned, those are airline pilots. They're working those are commercial pilots working in an airline, so they're airline pilots, right?
Okay.
You get different types of pilots. You don't just get pilots working in an airline. Some, you get flight instructors. Oh, by the way, I'm a commercial pilot and a flight instructor.
Yes.
So I train pilots as well. Excuse me. Somebody has to train them. That person, so after getting your qualification as a commercial pilot, you study further to become
an instructor.
Yes, to be able to teach flying. Right. Okay. So you get those type of pilots. The requirements or personality will be different to that one of an airline. Right. And then you get your charter pilots. who fly your charter. So if you wanted to fly in a private jet from here to Cape Town, for instance, you could charter a plane. You don't have to sit in economy with the rest of the public. You could charter a private plane. There's a pilot for that. Right? The requirements for that will also be different.
Will be different.
Yes, and then there's parts who do crop dusting. In the farms where an aeroplane will fly, spray pesticides and stuff like that. You get those. You get pilots who are doing medivacs, your medical evacuations, where they're transporting patients from one hospital to the next. There's different types of flying. The ones you're talking about particularly are the airline pilots, right? The ones you see at the airport.
Yeah, with straight face, yeah.
With the straight face, with the square suitcase and the suit.
And what's up with those suitcases as well? I don't know, I'm getting too much excited, but yeah.
I'll answer it. So those particular pilots, which I believe many people are aspiring to become, the airline pilot, right? So
which is what you are.
I'm a flight instructor. I'm in general aviation. I'm not flying for an airline at the moment, but I think I must go into that now. I've been in general aviation for more than 10 years. Actually.
Okay.
No, much more. When did I? Maybe 14. What year are we in? What?
2023. How old are you again?
Sorry, man. It's been a long day. 2023.
Yes.
Okay, so I started in 2010.
Oh, okay.
How many years is this now? Is that 13?
13, yeah.
Yeah. But I've been on and off because of those finances and so it's been a long journey. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to your question. Sorry, man. The personality. So there are many people who are qualified as commercial pilots, but not all of them can meet the requirements of an airline.
Okay.
Right? So you could be qualified and you can be flying and doing other things, but you just don't make the cut for the airline. The airline has got a higher requirements. Right? So the airline, they check your personality, what you're asking, they check other things. So they generally look, you want somebody who's confident. You need somebody who's confident, who's able to make decisions and execute them in the interest of safety. But you don't want somebody who's overconfident at the same time, because then that now start, borders towards arrogance. At the same time, you don't want, somebody who's going to fly in adverse situations because they think they're the man. They I've got this. So you don't want that type of arrogance, but you also want a certain level of confidence. Somebody who can take charge and handle the situation. You want people who pay attention to detail, people who
like when there's turbulence, like how to.
But that's all part of the training. So there's a lot of decision making. Remember that the environment that you're flying in, the medium, which is up there. The medium is always changing. The weather is always changing. Things are always changing. So you need somebody who's assertive, who pays attention to detail, and who's able to make decisions. Yeah.
And now going to the bags. What are those bags for? I know it's microscope, but quite interesting.
No, it's good. I love it. Look, because this is not scripted. We're having a conversation, so I like it. So I'll tell you what's in my bag.
Yes.
I wish I had planned this. I wanted to come. If I had planned it properly, I would have my uniform.
We should have another one. There's a lot of stories to tell.
Man, I've got so much.
Yeah.
Next time I'll be in my uniform. I'll have the bag. It'll have the stuff.
Great.
Right. So what's in my bag? Number one is my flying license. You have to have a flying license. It's not like a car license.
I was about to say, how big is it? Like for you to carry it in a bag. Like
I'm thinking over there saying, sounds like it's like hello. Yeah. So number one, that's my flying license. The flying license is a booklet. And in that booklet there's different pages. And these pages detail my qualifications.
Oh, like the DPL,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but mine is a commercial license.
No, I'm saying it's showing that you've done the PPL.
Not the mere fact that you have a commercial license on its
It
own.
shows that you
Yeah,
have.
yeah, 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 yeah. But now it shows the type of aeroplanes that you are flying. It shows your medical certificate.
Yeah.
And it shows other stuff. And it also serves as an identification.
Okay.
Right? So, for instance, when I go to an airport, I've got access to the airside where the aeroplane is parked. I don't need a boarding pass.
Okay.
But you guys would need to have a boarding pass to access certain spaces. And certain spaces, even with your boarding pass, you still can't access it. Right? So the license has to be there as part of my identification. And also the company you work for will also give you a second tag that you can then use. So in the bag, that license is there, number one. The documents I need for the flight. There's quite a few. There's quite a lot of them, right? And some companies you will have a tablet, like an iPad.
Paperless, yeah.
Yeah, they love iPads these days. The what? A skinny bag.
Why not use a slim bag?
Why don't you use a slim bag? That's a question from the floor. Why don't you use it? So yeah, there will be an iPad, and this iPad will show. Remember, to do a flight, you need to have some documents for the aeroplane, right? All the certificates that show that this aeroplane is airworthy, and your license and your documents say that you also qualify to do this, and your papers are valid and up to date because they must be renewed every year, right? And also, where are you flying to?
Sure.
Right? So you may have to have the information of the airport you're currently at, information of where you're going to. So yeah, all those things can go in an iPad now.
Yeah,
right?
and paperless.
Yeah.
It's giving me some lawyer vibe,
Yeah, there we go. yeah.
But yeah.
And then you can put your other stuff. You can put your headsets. Sometimes you use headsets that we fly with.
Yeah.
You can put those in there as well. And your lunch. If you want to carry it somewhere.
Yeah.
But it just looks cool, I suppose, when people are watching.
Yeah.
The square briefcase thing.
Yeah.
In instruction, you don't really use those type of bags. It's mostly in the airline. Yeah. In the airline.
So it's been quite an interesting interview. I think there's a lot that I would have loved to touch. But
Then call me again. Then
really time constraint.
It's because I've been talking too much.
Yeah. I also wanted to touch about the advanced driving license that you also
That's just hobbies. I'm a petrol head.
like
I'm a car freak.
Yes.
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline, like anything fast is like, because I'm thinking flying, that's fast. Yeah.
But you don't feel it now.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fast. Your airliners that you fly with. On a good day with some good tailwinds, good weather, you can hit 1,000 kilometers per hour. Yeah, that's quite fast. Yeah.
We need another interview.
We have to.
Definitely do. Okay.
We have to.
So thank you
I
so
promise
much.
I'll be back.
Yes.
I'll be back.
Very soon. Very soon, I hope. So thank you so much for allowing me to do the interview. As I mentioned, there is a lot that I, still want to ask. And is there any question that is important for now to touch that I didn't ask? And if there is, how would you have answered it? Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. Number one, I'm sorry that I've been talking, so I get excited.
I was enjoying it. I was enjoying it. Yeah.
When it comes to flying, I get so excited and I apologize. We've taken so much time. But I tell you what, I promise.
No need to apologize. Yeah.
I'll be back. I promise I'll be back. I'll put my uniform on and
Yes.
and I'll bring the bag and we'll do this again. But for now, the important thing is that number one, the requirements is that especially if you want to fly for the Air Force, is that you must have a grade 12 with maths, English, science.
Yeah, very important.
If you're not flying for the Air Force and you want to go to a private air school, I think to start, it used to be 16 years, but I think now at 15 years you can start your training to fly the small aeroplane.
Yeah, still
you can start.
Wow.
So even if you are in high school, you can start the training already to fly the small aeroplane.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So
good information. Yeah.
yes. Some people who know already that they want to be pilots. After school, they go to the air school and they start with the lessons.
They want to get money.
The ones,
sure.
yeah. Because no one is going to sponsor you for a grade 12, right? But now the requirements, 15 years. I had to check this. It used to be 16, but I think they've changed it now to 15 years.
Okay.
And then you must be medically fit. Medically fit means you go to an aviation doctor who checks your medical well-being.
Yeah.
You know, to see if you.
I wonder what exactly they check in.
I'll tell you because they check me every
Story
day.
for another day.
Okay, I'll come back. I'll tell you exactly what they check in next time.
Yeah.
Right? Be 15 years medical check and be able to speak English. So you must be English proficient. If you don't have grade 12 yet, then they will do an English proficiency test for you at the school. If you already passed grade 12, good. That's maths, English, science,
Yeah.
and you must.
Just
be
for them
grade
to say we are now traveling. What.
No. Remember when you're flying. Remember you're flying in an airspace that you're sharing with 100 other aeroplanes.
Oh, so you must be communicating with them as well.
You must be communicating with those aeroplanes. You must be
Yeah.
communicating with air traffic controller.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I must actually get an air traffic controller
Imagine.
to interview.
Maybe
Another career.
That's not a career. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Now you can't be coming there speaking this Xhosa, for instance. Imagine now you're flying to London.
Like,
You're going to Heathrow.
I can't see you.
Hey,
And you only went to
yeah, so English is the standard
Yeah.
language that they use. So
Okay.
it's, if you are in South Africa and you've passed grade 12, then they waiver the English proficiency check because you already
Okay.
have it on your grade 12
Grade
certificate.
12, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So that's good to have. Bursaries, once again, the Department of Transport, they have been giving, especially here in the Eastern Cape. The Office of the Premier in the Eastern Cape have been giving bursaries. The Civil Aviation Authority, they give bursaries. Transport Education Training Authority, so TETA, so they also give bursaries. But
I'll
this
ask
one,
for the links so that if you would really
There you
like
go.
to pursue it,
There you
the links are in the description.
There we go. There we go.
Box
There we
so
go.
that it's easy for you to find them.
Those offer bursaries.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is that it is extremely difficult. It is one of the most difficult fields that you can go into. It's very difficult, guys. I won't lie.
When you say difficult, what
Yeah.
do you mean? That can also be relative. Difficult can be difficult because of the amount of hours that you have to be there for training, and also difficult can mean the training itself is difficult.
Okay. So in terms of the training itself, I think that one is manageable. You can get that right.
Yeah.
The difficulty is the requirements to go and work and fly professionally as a professional pilot. Because companies have got higher requirements. They don't want you to just qualify and pass.
Yeah.
They've got higher requirements. There's some
And
experience in.
Another thing that really was confusing me was the term commercial. I thought when you are a qualified commercial, it means that you automatically fly airlines.
So what that means is that you only have the qualification. You can have the qualification and still be unemployed, right? So what makes it difficult? There's a lot of pilots that I know who are black, who are qualified. They've got the qualification, but they're not employed anyway. They're not employed.
Wow. So
Right.
that's another
That's the
risk.
difficulty.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty of it.
We have to highlight it. It's
I
very
have to speak
important
about
so
yeah.
that when you go into the school, you have that expectation that you can finish and then you don't
Exactly.
get employed.
Qualifying on its own is not gonna give you a job. You just have to be a step higher than that.
Yeah.
Because hey man, pilots hey man.
I think we can talk for the whole day. It's simple. But thank you so much. The interview was very informative. Yeah.
Man, I
Just
feel like
what I was looking for.
it wasn't that long, man. The time is so short. It flew quick.
Yeah, definitely a part 2. I will call him because I also want to learn more. I always say knowledge is power. So it's not just for me to go and work as a pilot, but also for me just to have more knowledge on what
Yeah.
flying is about.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I think for today, one thing maybe
Yeah.
that'll
Wrap up. Yeah. I'm saying like the summary. Oh.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm summarizing. I'm
Yeah.
summarizing this and then I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Today, more than the information, I think representation is important. So what I'm hoping for is that whoever is watching and they see me coming from the village, not having any money, not coming from a well-off family, coming from poverty, hopefully that one element on its own will somebody can relate to that and they will know that things are possible.
True. And I like the fact that you highlighted where they can get funding now.
Yeah.
And the fact that you mentioned with Matric
Yes.
that you can get provisionally accepted and what you can do to get the
Yes.
funding.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I really like that. So
Because
if
that puts gravitas to application.
it does.
You can't just
It
go
does,
knock on the
yeah.
door by yourself.
Yeah.
So yes, man. I hope there's somebody who looks like me, who's got a hair texture like mine,
I like
who
that.
comes from the village, who's going through stuff that I've been through. There's hope.
There
You know,
is
So
definitely.
more than information today.
Sure,
Yeah. So when you listen to this, man, know that there's hope. All things are possible if we believe. So it starts with believing,
Yeah.
you know, and then zonke izinto ziyenzeka. We'll
Yeah.
come back and we'll talk about more stuff, and I'll give you all the other information that you need. But for now, know that there's hope.
Trust me, from this you're gonna be getting phone calls or DMs or yes,
He's
because
not
I
coming back
know.
if it does not happen.
Sorry?
As the now self-appointed manager, he's not coming back if DMs are not coming.
Oh,
That's my manager.
I like that. Trust me, they'll be buzzing because I know a lot of kids want to go into aviation, and the reason why I'm also doing this interview is because I got a request to also conduct the interview.
Yeah.
So so thank you so
Sipho
much.
Mangesi, that's my name on all
Yeah.
social media. You'll find me there.
I will put a link there
Very good.
to direct you to him. So thank you so much. Bye bye.